Hello and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel as I upload new videos every Wednesday and Sunday. And please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it, and please leave a comment down below if you've been through something similar and we can have a little chat about it. So if you haven't already guessed by this title, I am telling you a story today about when I found out I was pregnant at the age of 16. Alfie is now 8, he'll be 9 in February. I am 25, so obviously when I say to a lot of people that I have a nearly 9-year-old at the age of 25, they kind of have to do the maths and like, oh god, you know, you were quite young when you had a baby. That obviously wasn't planned, obviously, but that is just how things go in life. Unfortunately, you can't always plan things, mistakes are made, and although I do not regret Alfie in the slightest, he has changed my life forever. And yeah, so this all began when I was 16 and I met Alfie's dad at school. We knew each other for a while. We knew each other for a few years actually, but we never really spoke. It was just one of those things where you know someone but you just kind of say hi or something and you just don't ever talk. But as the years kind of went on, I obviously started getting into house parties, and I'd see him at a few house parties a lot of the time. This one night in particular, we saw each other there. So I decided to kind of make a move, I guess. I don't know, I did kind of like him. So I wanted to make a move and to see if anything would come of it. But obviously one thing went from another and we ended up sleeping together that night. And being at the age of 16 and quite naive and things like that, although I did use protection, I was quite knowledgeable that I could get pregnant without using protection. But I think we were both very drunk, we didn't really think about it, and I think that's the problem with when alcohol's involved, you don't ever think of the consequences of things. So unfortunately we did not use protection that night, and I was always one of those people where you think that, oh, it would never happen to me. I never thought I'd get pregnant at such a young age. I wasn't very sexually active, to be honest. It was just, you know, I guess just having fun as you do at the age of 16. I know 16 sounds really young, but for me at that time, apparently I was just a full-on woman and I should just make the most of it, I guess. So a few weeks went down the line and well, 4 weeks, and my period was a day late. At the time, like my periods were always bang on time. Like, so say if my period was due on the 27th, I will come on the 27th. I was never a day out and never a day early. So I spoke to my best friend and I was like, I think I need to go get a pregnancy test. Maybe I am pregnant. Maybe, you know, I don't know, caught the pregnancy bug. So we went to Tesco and we bought a pregnancy test, and on the way there we were joking and laughing as young teenagers do. I'm gonna call my baby Ralph. What if it comes out with one eye? And all these silly things. Later that afternoon I took the pregnancy test and I was in fact pregnant. I completely freaked out. I was crying and like, oh my god, what the hell am I gonna do? I think one of the things for me wasn't so much having a baby, it was telling my parents. I apologise if I cough a lot through this video. I'm still very poorly. I found out I've actually got the flu, or I've had the flu. I feel a bit better, but I do need to rest a little bit. So as I started telling his family, there was a lot of negativity towards me. They didn't really give me any options. They just said, you know, abortion is your best option. Just abort the baby. You can live your life. Like, having a baby is really hard. But one of the main things for me, and what I've kind of realised over the years, that it wasn't so much about me, them being concerned for my well-being. It was mainly for their son, which is understandable completely. But obviously, for me, abortions, unless you're 100%, don't do it, because I think you'll just regret it for the rest of your life, and that's how I felt at the time. However, I did choose to have an abortion. I told my family. Obviously they were very upset because I was still living at home at the time, so I'd have nowhere to go. I'd have to have the baby in the house with them. But I chose to have an abortion. I went to a couple of appointments, and this one lady that I saw told me that my abortion was due, so I went on the Thursday, it was due on the Saturday, and I said, look, I'm really sorry, I can't make this Saturday, my prom is on the Friday night, so I don't want to have a quick rush weekend. Would I be able to come next weekend? Like, would I be in the time frame to only have the tablet termination? Yeah, that's fine, she said, you know, no problem, we'll get you in next weekend. Next weekend followed up and she said, I'm really sorry, but unfortunately you're 9 weeks 1 day, which means you'll have to have this surgical abortion. Now, I will never ever judge a mother, a woman, for having an abortion. I think there's lots of reasons for it. Mine was mainly my age and that I had no job, I had no stability, I was still living at home with my parents. However, surgical abortions, just, it really bothered me to know that they had to physically kind of remove this baby from me. So that is what I chose. I went to obviously all the appointments. So the day had come and I had to go for like a consultation at the abortion clinic, which is in the UK, it's called BPAS. So I went there and I had to go through when I fell pregnant, what kind of dates I thought I fell pregnant, the reasons why I wanted the abortion, just things like that. I think anyone who has been for an abortion, you kind of know what questions they ask you, and everything like that. So the day came for the abortion. I was a bit anxious. I mean, the whole entire time I was driving there, I was just crying and I was just absolutely distraught. I really didn't want to go through with it, but obviously I did believe that if I'd have this abortion, then maybe Alfie's dad would have stayed with me and we'd be all happy, but it just doesn't work like that. Obviously in my 16-year-old mind it kind of felt like that at the time. I didn't want to upset anyone. I was kind of just trying to please everyone. When we got there, I had to kind of dress in this weird gown. I had to wear these weird knickers that, like, I can't even explain them. They're really, really strange. I guess for a surgical, I don't know if they have to kind of go up that sort of region, so it was quite open and weird. I was laying on a hospital bed and there was the girl next to me who looked a lot like younger than me. She was probably the same age, if not older, but yeah, she looked very young. And her mother was explaining that she'd had a lot of pain and she was having a lot of cramping and things like that. And that really put me off. I didn't want to feel pain of losing something that had been kind of growing inside my stomach for the last 9 weeks. So I was with my mum and she was holding my hand and I laid on the hospital bed. And this lady came in with some tablets in her hand. I think it was to soften your uterus before you go into surgery and they do the surgical abortion. I literally took one look at these tablets and looked at this woman and thought, no, I'm not doing this. Like, I don't want to do this. I feel like everyone's pressured me into doing this. So I left that abortion clinic just feeling complete relief that I hadn't gone through with it. I went straight home and I laid in my bed and I just kind of like kept rubbing my stomach, like, I'm so sorry that I was going to do this. And even to this day, I still look at Alfie and I think, oh my God, like, I could have had an entire world without you, and I don't know how I could live without him, because although he drives me absolutely crazy, he's a proper preteen, even at the age of 8, and he's so stroppy and moody, but I love him with all my heart and I'm so glad that I didn't go through with it. The next like couple of years living at home with my parents obviously wasn't great. I felt like his big sister at one point, because my mum was kind of just doing everything.
I sit.
Right. Okay, Holly's gonna come sit with us. I think my stepdad was just kind of doing everything, and unfortunately I did get postnatal depression. I had postnatal depression for 2 years with Alfie. What I know now about postnatal depression is to not hide it, speak to someone, get all the help you need, and just be open about how you feel. But unfortunately when I was that age, I just believed that I had to kind of keep it a secret, and if I was to tell anyone then they'd take Alfie away from me and they thought I'd really rubbish mum. That went on for 2 years, and although I loved Alfie, I didn't really do anything. Just, I can't explain it, I just felt like I couldn't really do anything for him because I was inadequate as a mother, I guess, because I just didn't have these lovely feelings that everyone says about being a mum and things like that. So I just didn't feel any of that and I felt just completely useless. So postnatal depression, that lasted about 2 years. No doctor would help me because of my age. I was told I was too thin and too young to receive any medication. So the years went by and I just grew as a mum. I learnt so much. Me and Alfie obviously had to build a relationship all over again because we just didn't really have one when he was so young. I can't really remember the first 2 years of his life because I was obviously battling this depression, and obviously if you know with depression you lose a lot of your memory, so I can't really remember anything. I can remember when he was first born and a few snippets, but I think it's mainly due to pictures that I kind of look back and think, oh, that's so lovely, but actually I can't even remember being in that moment, which is quite sad. But I'm over it now. You know, I love Alfie and we've got a lovely relationship now, which I'm really grateful for. Unfortunately, when I was pregnant with Alfie, around 5 months, his dad said he no longer wanted to be involved, he didn't want a baby, and obviously we were very young, so I've never blamed him for that. Of course, you know, that was his choice and that's fine. I did try and like say to him, you know, perhaps you'd like a bit of support, maybe we could go meet with our families and we can kind of talk about this, but no, he didn't want to be a dad. So unfortunately he's never met Alfie. Alfie knows that. Well, it's a sugar-coated version of what Alfie knows. I'll probably make another video about that another time. So yeah, here we are, 9 years on, and I am now 25 with this little 2-year-old who drives me absolute bonkers. But yeah, I love being a mum, and I guess some people just don't really, they sugarcoat a lot of parent, like motherhood. You know, I found it extremely hard with Alfie. I think probably my age played a big part in that. But apart from that, yeah, so happy now, everything's kind of dandy a little bit. Oh, hello. Sorry, I keep getting people bloody ringing me and messaging me. That is my teen pregnancy story. A bit of a long one, but I hope it educates some people, you know, about teen pregnancy and what actually goes through your mind, because I think a lot of people just think that mums kind of get pregnant for the benefit side of things. I didn't even know benefits existed when I had Alfie. I thought that I'd have to live off my mum's wages. At the time, unfortunately, she was at university. She was 42 years old. So, and we were just living off my stepdad's wages. So when we found out I was entitled to money that could help me provide for Alfie, it was an absolute dream come true. So that was, you know, that was absolutely fantastic when I knew that I could get support. I wasn't receiving any maintenance, so I did it all on my own. Yeah, so if you do have any questions, then please leave them down below. I'm happy to answer any that you may have. I think in my channel header I have my Twitter link, so please go on over there and follow me if you'd like. And yeah, I will see you for another video on Sunday. Thanks for watching. Bye.